What's up, boys? It's the Dual Factor once again with another video, and in today's video I'm going to give you my regional report for the St. Louis Regional that I just recently attended. As you guys saw in my last video, I did have, I was able to get DeBlessing Wilson's 8th place deck profile of Salamangreat. Shout out to him, he's on his Worlds grind, and that's pretty cool to be able to top the first regional of the season. I actually think he did back-to-back this weekend, but, nonetheless, I had also played Salamangreat like he did. Me and his list very differently. I didn't get to talk to him before the event actually started. I wish I did because he actually had some really good points and stuff like that about the deck. Other than that, I thought it performed really well for me. To go over my rounds, my round 1, I got the YCS VIP treatment, and I got the round 1 bye. So that was pretty cool. My second round, I played against Dragon Link with Thunder Dragon card. I'm not 100% sure what it was, but it was combo.deck. And I won that round 2-1. My second round I played against Sky Striker. I was in a position where I could win, and then my opponent flipped the third copy of There Can Only Be One in his deck, and then I proceeded to lose from there because I couldn't out it. Because I couldn't draw any of my outs to that specific card. This card's so hard to play through. Let's see, we're at the 4th round now. I played against, I would like to say Burning Abyss, but I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it was Burning Abyss. That match was pretty good, but that was a clean 2-0. Honestly, the deck, it's one of those things. My next match after that, I played against a Danger Thunder player, and it felt, I'm not going to lie to you, because especially since I've been playing Thunder for a long time, it felt really good to not be on the receiving end of being hand-trapped to death because your one-card combo starter got destroyed. It honestly, it felt great. My round 6, this is where this is unfortunate. I played against True Draco, and I personally think True Draco is the deck's worst matchup just because it plays every single floodgate that could possibly hurt you. And their monsters are huge, and then they also can main deck Border, which this player was, and Border's just insane. And I dropped that match, so that was my second loss of the day. And then I played against a Mech Knight Invoked player where that match was actually really good. Unfortunately, at the end of the match where I was in a position to win, he did top deck Super Poly and turned my cards into Violet Chimera, and then I proceeded to die that same turn because he also had Red Reboot, so I just ended up losing outright, so I dropped after that. So I only played 7 rounds. I started off strong and then just kind of fell apart towards the end. But nonetheless, those are my rounds. Let me show you what I played. So, to start off with the main deck, it is a 40-card main deck. We played 1 copy of the Gazelle, this beautiful 4-legged mythical creature of legend. Not much to say on that one. Let me try to center this a little bit for you guys, too. I didn't realize it wasn't centered. But there we go. So, like I said, 1 Gazelle. 3 copies of Salamangreat Spinny. I think it's mandatory to play 3 of this. You just want to max out on your good Salamangreat cards, especially since we lost 2 of them. So there's that. It also helps you go into your Stalio a lot easier. 3 copies of Foxy. To me, I built the deck around this card because I thought it was the best starter outside of Gazelle. And the card's just honestly insane. Like, it deals with every floodgate and problem that you would have and whatnot. So, to me, it's still the best card in the deck outside of Gazelle. But there's that. And then for the 1 of Salamangreats, 1 Falco, 1 Jaguar. Me, personally, I don't want to change the numbers of this, because honestly, I thought these numbers were perfect. But I sat there talking about it a little bit with Bless, and he was talking about the importance of being able to play 2 Salamangreat Jaguar, because it and Signet Mining with any other Salamangreat is a 1-card Stalio, or not 1-card Stalio, but 1-card Sunlight Wolf. And having access to the cards is honestly really important. So going forward, I might start playing 2. I just don't know if I'm going to commit to it yet. So that's it for the Salamangreat cards, and for the honorary Salamangreat card, we play 1 copy of Debug. It is just essentially another copy of Gazelle. I only drew it once the entire event, and I'm not going to lie to you, the time that I drew it, I didn't even want to summon it, because I didn't just want to get blown out by a Ghost Ogre, because that card was everywhere, and I just kind of held it and just went with a different play that ended up working anyway, because it played around Ash Blossom. But, yeah, honorary Salamangreat card. And then for good starter cards that aren't named Salamangreat, Foxy, or Gazelle, I played 3 copies of Buffalo. My build was also playing a lot heavier trap lineup. For example, I was playing 6 copies of Jesus, which was wrong, but at the event I was playing 6 copies of Jesus. I wish I would have saw this card more, because if I would have resolved, every time I resolved it, it was broken. So, Hopefully in the future I'll see the card more, but I think I'm gonna definitely continue playing it. It's a really good card. And that's it for your monsters, and then on for the monster-based hand traps. I played 2 copies of Ash Blossom. One of the reoccurring themes in my hand traps I've been playing lately is I want to maximize on the cards that are not hard once per turns, and I minimize on the cards that are hard once per turns. And Ash Blossom fits the category of hard once per turn, where it's like one of the oldest rules in like deck building. When you play multiples of cards, you have to be willing, especially like for 3 of you, have to be willing to see multiple copies of it in your opening hand. And I'm not willing to see multiple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring because you literally can't do anything with it, and it's a neg-1. Technically, it is a neg-1 in card economy. Now, it is the most generic of all the hand traps, so I feel like it needs to be included in your deck list. But I only played 2 copies, and honestly, I saw it when I needed it, and I was able to recycle it with Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf a lot. A lot of people were forgetting that Sunlight Wolf adds back from the graveyard when you summon in on your turn as well. So I got plenty of mileage out of the 2 copies in my main deck, and I don't think I would change the number. So there's that. And then going on with that theory, I played 3 copies of Valor. The 2 reasons I played it, 1, it's not a hard once per turn. And 2, I think it's generically better across the board rather than Ghost Ogre is. Ghost Ogre is really, really good against combo decks, but it really struggles against control decks. But I did side deck Ogre, but I just thought for a main deck slot, Valor was just better generically across the board, and the big selling point is it wasn't not a hard once per turn, so if you drew multiples in your hand, you could use multiple copies of it, and that's why it ultimately made the cut. So that's it for the monsters. On to the spells, 3 copies of Silent Mining. You have to play it. It's just no more copies of Gazelle. Notes, the best play in the deck is Silent Mining with Called by the Grave, because that just guarantees you're getting Gazelle. I got lucky. My Silent Mining never got negated, so I got to play every single game that I saw it. Going forward, I will 100% promise you, if I activate Silent Mining and you ash me, I'm probably going to scoop my cards and go to the next game. But that's it for the generic searchers, and then on to Salamangreat spells. The 1 copy of Circle, because I'm only allowed to play 1. The 1 copy of Sanctuary, and 1 Will of the Salamangreat. Now, I felt really blessed because I opened this card very few times, and that was it was an amazing feeling because almost every single card in my hand was live. I did open it once or twice, but it was lit. Salamangreat Circle, I wish I would have saw that card more. But, I mean, it's 1 of the deck. It is technically searchable, technically. But you see it when you need it, and then you can just recycle. Once you have access to it, you just keep recycling it every single turn, and then that's where you start winning the games. 3 copies of Called by the Grave. You want your Gazelle plays to go through. You want to be able to. You just want to be able to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And then it's just a really strong trap card if you don't need it to make your combos go through. So that's it for the spells. On to the traps. I took a page out of the Worlds list, and I played more Salamangreat traps to make my Foxy resolve more consistently. So 2 copies of Roar. Looking back at it, I was actually talking to Aldo about this, and we had a really interesting theory, but I might honestly cut Roar from the main deck altogether and just move it to the side. Because a lot of the times, just blind going first, I would just get Rage, because I think Rage is just an insane card. I've always thought Rage was insane. And I think it's generically better. I think it's really, really good against combo. It's insane against Dragon Link, I know that too. So, Roar might not make the cut, but for this event I played 2, and going with the same theory, I played 2 copies of Rage. This was my favorite card in the deck. Like, this card was just insane. Every time I had it, I just felt undefeated. And the card just did so much, so honestly, I might not even change that copy, because hard drawing it's good too. I played 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, again with the hand trap theme. Cards that are not hard once per turn, and there's not much to say, man. It's just generically good across the board. It was awful against True Draco, but we're not going to get into that. And then, like I was telling you guys, I played 6 copies of Jesus. So, 3 copies of Strike, and this card was insane. I would definitely play it again. And 3 copies of Judgments. This card was terrible. I would definitely not play it again. It got sided out every single match. But the theory was you just wanted the open combo with some sort of powerful negation behind it. And that's why I played it initially. Then, now looking forward to what the deck actually does, this was completely unnecessary. So that was it for my main deck. if I don't drop cards on you boys, give me 1 second. I'll go ahead and move to my extra. So, you know, shout out to the boy. Shout out to the boy, and then shout out for Bingo for making me Mechaba. Anyway, we have 3 copies of Salamangreat's Balinks. Not much to say on that one. You go, if you're grinding out the match, you're going to go through 3 and you need it, especially if your combo starter involves having to use Salamangreat Sanctuary to make the second one. You want the third one in your extra deck, so there's that. 3 copies of Sunlight Wolf. Not much to say there. 2 copies of Heat Leo. You definitely need to play 2, for sure. And then 1 copy of Salio. I see some people playing 2, but I think 1 is the correct number. And then that's it for like the Salamangreat. I didn't play Violet Chimera. I didn't play Fusion of Fire or Super Poly. I just don't think it's necessary. Me personally, I didn't think it was necessary. And anytime there's a situation like, man, I really wish I could Super Poly my opponent's board, I just looked at my extra deck and I looked at my hand. I'm like, wait, there's something I can do that's even better. That's just definitely better than doing that. So that's what I did. For the generic links, I did play Update Jammer and I did play Transcode Talker. I did this combo at least once a match. I mean, through a clear board, it's 8,100 points of damage, and then there's a lot of times where you can make it really safe, and you can have Sunlight Wolf up top with it co-linked, Transcode, and Update Jammer. So if you have Roar set, the OTK goes through unimpeded, and that's really, really powerful. Since I wasn't playing Violet Chimera, I went ahead and played Hida. This card actually came up a couple times to be able to make it to take like your opponent's Ash Blossom or take a Goari, and then go into your Heat Leo and kill him that way. And then the other 2 generic Link 2s I played were Phoenix. It's the best generic Nightmare. And since I was playing the Update Jammer, I thought it was really important to play Borreload. The play where you make Borreload with Update Jammer to take 2 cards actually did come up for me a couple times to be able to clear boards. And Borreload can out Avermax, and that's a really hard card for you to out. And then I did play a generic not Link 4, but Rank 4 in the copy of Dweller, because I think this is the best card against combo decks. And the 2 combo decks I played, I was able to go full combo with Dweller, and they couldn't win. So, I mean, enough about that. That was the extra deck consensus is a regional port. I'll go ahead and show you my side. My side could probably use some work, but I thought it was okay for what I did. 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. I really just want this against Orcus, because like it's just a blowout blanket card. Like, you Lancia him, and they honestly they don't get to play. So that's pretty lit. But I didn't play any Orcus, so I didn't have to worry about it. Like I said, this is the best hand trap against combo, but no, it is a hard once return effect. Yes, Lancia is also one of those cards also hard once return effect, but it's also a blowout effect. So I think that's an exception to that rule for the hand traps. But Ogre is a pretty solid card, honestly. When I saw it was high impact, like very, very high impact. I'm going to continue to play it, but I don't know if it's main deck worthy yet or not, but we'll see. But for the rest, we played 3 copies of Twin Twister. I should have listened to Bless for the little bit of tidbit of advice he gave me at the beginning of the day, and I should have played this in the main deck, because there's a lot of situations where if this card was in my main deck and not Solemn Judgment, it would have put me in a lot more advantageous position, and there's a couple games I think I could have stole if this was in my main deck. So that's probably going to go, like I said, that's probably going to get moved up. And then for the rest of the cards, we played 3 copies of Evenly Matched. This card's a blowout against a lot of the decks right now in the format, especially decks like Striker and the Mirror Match, where I could go on about this card for days. Like, it's just an insane card. I would definitely will continue playing it. And then since we're playing Salamangreat and Striker's a hard matchup, 3 copies of Anti-Spell and 1 copy of Imperial Order. These cards get a lot of mileage against rogue decks as well, and being able, especially going first, like when you flip Anti-Spell on it, like it's almost as crippling as Imperial Order, but I mean, what can you say, floodgates or floodgates? But that was my regional report for the St. Louis Regional here of August of 2019, very first one of the season. I unfortunately didn't get my invites, but we'll keep grinding. We'll get the invite. We'll hopefully get back on the top 8 streak, and then yeah, more big things to come. Shout outs to Aaron for getting his first invites. I'll try to get his profile sometime this week so I can show you what he's because he was playing a really cool going second Orcus deck, and I really think it'd be interesting to watch. Don't forget to check out the X2 Drop podcast. We have a co-op every Monday on Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play. It's always on later on the week in my channel. It's always on Bingo HD's channel, so don't forget to go check him out. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.